Okay, boys and girls, one of the important skills we need as a reader is we need to ask ourselves questions. Now, we're going to be reading a collection of poems called Adventures with Words. And this collection includes poems by Cassie Hermansen, Laura Purdysalis, and Eloise Greenfield. And poems often spark a lot of questions, and each person's answer is going to be different because people interpret poems in different ways. And so one thing you can do is you can ask yourselves questions before, during, and after reading, and this will help you. This helps you make predictions and helps you clarify things that might seem unclear, that you're not sure about when you're reading. And they help you think more deeply about the text, because that's what we want to do. We want to think about what we are reading. Now, boys and girls, because if we're not thinking about reading, we're not really reading at all. So here's some questions we could be asking. These are some questions that a reader might be asking, someone who's really thinking about what they're reading. They could be thinking, when is this happening? Where in the text can I find an answer to my question? What will this be about? Who is this person? Why did the author write this? So those are all questions a person can be thinking about as they're reading. Now, boys and girls, it helps you become more actively involved as you explore ideas in the text. Now, you're going to practice asking and answering questions while we're reading Adventures with Words. Now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to open up our reading book to page 148. Open your book to page 148 if you have not done that yet. 148. Now let me get our book here, and it says Adventures with Words. Oh, I want to go back. Sorry. Or yours is not on one. Is this where you were? Is that 148? Yes. And here, let's look at our genre study. We always want to see what our genre is. Do you have a question about that? No. Okay. And our genre, boys and girls, is poetry. Poetry. And poetry uses the sounds and rhythms of words to show images and express feelings. That's what poems do. And poems are often written in paragraphs called stanzas, because a poem is different than a story. And it doesn't have paragraphs, it has stanzas. Everybody say stanza. Poems include sound effects, such as rhyme, rhythm, and meter, and we're going to talk more about that. Poems include word sounds, such as alliteration. We're going to talk about that. Onomatopoeia, which we have talked about, and repetition to emphasize particular words or ideas. We're going to talk more about this. The speaker in a poem reflects on a particular topic. So a poet and somebody in the poem is reflecting on something. They're thinking about something. And so our purpose is to think. Oh, I'm going to have to scroll up here. So let's set our purpose for reading. Think about the genre of this text and look at the illustrations. How do you think the poems will be different from the other texts you've read so far? What do you think? So boys and girls, today, that's what I want you to do. We're going to set our purpose for reading. How do you think the poems will be different from the other texts we've read so far? Look at the poems. Yes?
They'll rhyme.
They're going to rhyme. Okay, so go through. Look at the poems. Yes?
Each of the poem is going to
going to be different?
But like in
So yeah, you're going to look at them. You're doing a picture walk in here today instead of in our other thing that we usually do. Because this isn't exactly a book. This is a little different than the book club thing. So this is different. So it's a little harder to do the book club. Not with this, no.
Oh, yay.
So I want you to write down. How do you think these are going to be different than the things we usually do? And Olive said it's going to rhyme. Avery, what did you say?
All of the things are going to be different.
All the poems are different from each other. Okay, so write down what you think. Write down what you think is going to be different about these than the usual types of stories that we read. Yes?
I'm writing it in the
Yes, you could write down in the square at the bottom. Here, in my thing that I have up here, we could type here. But you're not going to type, you're just going to write. So you could just write in your book how you think that it's going to be. No, you write here at the bottom. Do you see that box? It's a set of purpose at the bottom of the box. That's what we're going to do today. Boys and girls, remember we're in third grade. Third grade sentences should begin with capitals. They should end with punctuation marks, probably a period in this case. And they should be written neatly like a third grader wrote them. Because you are experienced writers of sentences now. Yes, you are. Okay. Yes. Oh, I'm very excited to read the poems. Very excited. When I was a little girl, I had this book of poems by Robert Louis Stevenson, who was a very, very famous poem, and they had the most beautiful illustrations, and I loved, loved, loved looking at that book when I was little. Even before I could even read, I would look at this book. I would imagine myself in the poems, and I loved it. So now, boys and girls, everybody wrote, so here's what we're going to do. Now, so we read that the type of genre this is poetry. Poetry. Poetry is our genre. We don't want that. So now we have adventures in words, adventures with words. And what we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to meet the poets. I think the poets are here. So we have different poets. So our first poet is Cassie Hermansen, and she is a university professor who also writes fiction, nonfiction, and poetry for children. Her work has been published in books and in children's magazines. And here's a picture of her right there. So she's our first poet. And then we have Laura Purdysalis, has written more than 100 books for young people, including poetry and nonfiction books. Of all of her writing, she cites poetry as her favorite. So she loves writing poems. And then Eloise Greenfield is the award-winning author of more than 40 books for children. She loves the challenge of arranging words to get an idea across, and we don't have a picture of her. Okay, so we don't have a picture of her. So now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to read our poems. So let's get to that. I need to switch to my other book, my smaller book. Are we ready? So now we're on page 150. So remember, we're thinking about asking and answering questions. So I will ask myself questions and answer them to make sure I understand what is going on. Oh, look at the title. I like you. The title is I like you. I can ask myself, why is there a comma in the title? That's what I'm asking myself right now. Without a comma, the title would be I like you, meaning I enjoy you. This means something different. This means I just like you. Now I'll ask, how is a poet like someone else? I'll read the poem to find out. So now this is very intriguing to me. I need to find out what is going on in here.
I like you. That's
Oh, sorry.
I like you. That smile on your face is like a simile. I don't know how it got there, but it looks just right. It says, you know I don't like the same shade of blue as you, but I'll agree with you anyway, because friends are like that. Like a simile, your smile is nearly the same as mine, but not quite, which is exactly how I like it. From Cricket Magazine, by Cassie Hermansen, illustrated by Susan Farrington.
Okay, so boys and girls, what is this poet writing about? What is she writing about? Kelsey?
Probably like two friends or people.
Yeah, she's writing about not just two friends, she's writing about herself and a friend, right? She's writing about herself and a friend. And what is her message, do you think? What do you think is the poet's message? Anybody have an idea what her message is? What do you think her message is? What do you think she's trying to say in her poem? Ivy?
Like she's very nice and sweet.
You think she's nice and sweet? Yes? What do you think? Elisa?
She likes her friends smile.
She likes her friend's smile. Kelsey?
No, everybody's different.
Everybody's different, yes. But are they alike as well? They're alike, but a little different. Very good. And how is the word like used in this poem? How do they use the word like in the poem? Come in, look in your book. You can't just sit there, boys and girls. Your eyes have to be in the book. Olive, how's the word like?
Like I like you.
Like you, how else in the poem? Look in the words of the poem.
That you enjoy them.
Like what? Where does she have those words? To enjoy. Okay. What else? Avery.
There is like it says
It means to enjoy, right? Is that what you said, Olive? To enjoy. And what else?
like they're like comparing them a little bit.
To compare. Like, is that what you mean? To say something's like something. Yeah. So she used it two ways. To say that she enjoys something, or she enjoys the friendship. It is used to describe the friendship. To enjoy someone or love someone. And then she's using it to say similar. The speaker likes her friend and is like her friend. So they're alike, they're like each other, and she likes her friend. So that's how she's using it in two ways. And I want you right now to take your pencil and I want you to circle the word like in the poem every time we see the word like.
Every time.
Every time. So we need it there. Every time you see the word like. Okay. How many times did you circle the word like? Logan?
3 times.
3
What's
times?
one on the bottom and one on the top?
Was it more times than that? 3
Yeah,
times?
it was more.
Ethan, how many times?
5,
5. Libby, how many times did you circle it?
6.
6? Was it 6 times?
Yeah.
6 times? Okay. Because we did it in the title.
Oh.
So
Oh.
1, 2 here in the second line. So 1, 2.
And then going
3.
5.
So we did it about 6 times. Okay, next page.
Top Secret. From Books Speak, Poems About Books, by Laura Purdysalis, illustrated by José Bisayón. Describe your desires and they become mine. I'm a treasure box where feelings can shine. All thinkers need pages where dreams can take flight. Reveal all your secrets, 1 entry per night. Desires. Your desires are your wishes for certain things to happen. Entry. If you write an entry, you write a short note in a diary or a book.
Okay, so what is unusual about the first letter in each line? Elisa?
They're all uppercase.
They're all uppercase. That's right, they're all uppercase. What else is unusual about them? Jensen?
They're not
They're italicized. Maybe. They're bold. Teddy?
As they go down, they say the word diary.
And they spell the word diary. Who else noticed they spelled the word diary? They spelled the word diary. Very good. And so remember what we had the word entry. Do you think the words entry and diary go together? Yes, isn't that clever? That's very clever, that. And what does this structure help you know? What does that help you know? Because the words on the left, it spells out the word diary. And so what's this poem about? What is this poem about? Logan?
A diary.
It's about a diary, right? The poem's about a diary. And what do you notice about the end of lines 1, 2, 3, and 5? What do you notice about the ends of 1, 2, 3, and 5? Ethan, what do you notice about the ends of lines 1, 2, 3, and 5? This is line 1, 2, 3, and 5. What do you notice about the ends of them? 1, 2, 3, and 5. What do you notice about the words?
They all have
Say these words. What's this word? At the end of line 1.
mine.
What's at the end of line 2? What word's at the end of line 2? Mine, and then what's that word?
Shine.
Shine. What do you notice about mine and shine?
They all both have an E at the end.
They what?
They both have an E at the end.
They have an E at the end. Mine, shine. And then read this word at the end of 3. flight, and night. What do you notice about those words?
They have T at the end.
They what?
They both have a T at the end.
Yeah, they do, but that's not what's interesting about them. Mine, shine, flight,
But they
night.
both have a G. Yeah, they both have a G.
Listen to
and
that.
T.
Mine, shine, flight, night. What do you notice about them when I say them?
IGH.
Mine, shine, flight, night. Listen to them. Mine, shine. Don't even look at them on the page, just listen. Mine, shine,
They both have a
flight, night. Libby, they rhyme. Do they rhyme to you? They rhyme. So they have rhyming words. They rhyme. Mine and shine, flight and night. Why do you think the poet used rhyme? Why do you think a poet would use rhyme? Yes?
Also at the end, all of them have a long I.
Those are all, yes, they're long I words. They are long I. Why do you think the poet used rhyming words?
Because in a lot of poetry, they have rhyming words to make it like a lot of poets.
To do what?
Because a lot of the poets, a lot of times when people make poets, they make them rhyme.
But why? To make it harder to make a poem? Why do you think poets use rhyming words? Jensen?
To make it more interesting.
To make it more interesting, yes?
So like in stories, some words may rhyme, but they don't usually. But in poems, like the words rhyme, so maybe that's how like people can tell the difference.
So that's the way people can tell the difference, maybe, yes? Olive?
So poems are different than books.
Poems are different than books. To make it more interesting, do you think it is more interesting? Do you think it's more fun to read it when they rhyme like that? Yeah, it is. It's more fun. It's more interesting for sure. And is it more pleasing to your ear when you hear that? And does it tie the poem more together when it's rhyming all at the end? Yeah, it kind of ties the poem together. The poem flows. I think people get upset when they have a poem and it doesn't rhyme, because people think all poems should rhyme. But there's so many poems that don't rhyme at all. As a matter of fact, a ton of poems don't rhyme at all. Okay, next poem. I would continue, but I see something else going on in the back of the room.
In the Land of Words by Eloise Greenfield. Illustrated by Jan Spivey Gilchrist. In the land of words. In the land of words, I stand as still as a tree and let the words rain down on me. Come, rain, bring your knowledge and your music. Sing while I grow green and full. I'll stand as still as a tree and let your blessings fall on me.
You know, when I see this title, In the Land of Words, ask a question. How is a land made of words? That makes me wonder that. How is a land made of words? And so then I see, like, in the first sentence, I see that the land, I read to find the answer, in this land, words can fall like rain. I like thinking about that. I like thinking how you're standing there and the words are coming down out of the sky and falling on you, all the different words. Filling in, as a matter of fact, I'm picturing them just filtering into my head, all the different words. I hope they're interesting words. I want to have very cool, interesting words raining into my head. That's what I want. Cool, interesting words. Now, what happens when the rain When words rain down on the speaker of this poem. What happens when the words rain down on this poem? Logan?
They're like leaves.
Yeah, but what happens? What do?
They just they fall on him.
And what do they bring?
Knowledge.
Knowledge and?
Music.
Knowledge and music. How wonderful is that? What beautiful imagery is that? Imagery is what you imagine. You can kind of close your eyes and you can imagine it. And how is that like rain? How is that like rain? Teddy?
The clouds can be like sometimes like if the words fall, rain usually falls from the sky unless you're, I don't know, washing your hands.
But what does rain do? What does rain help do?
Oh,
Yes, Teddy?
water the plants,
And then the plants do what?
give us oxygen,
And they do what?
grow.
They grow. And so what do you think words help us do? Words,
Make our brain grow.
it helps, and knowledge, it helps us grow. And so it's the same thing that's happening in this poem too, right? The words are helping you grow, like the rain is helping the flowers grow. So that's what's going on. Very interesting poem. I'm going to say that in the world of poems in the kids' books, these are some of the better poems we've had in kids' books. I'm giving them 2 thumbs up for the poems that they put in this year's book.
Jokes. Every day we get together to see who can tell the funniest joke. We don't even have to vote. It's always Crystal who wins. The words come flying out of her mouth, straight to the center of our funny bones, tickling us into losing the game and loving it. Riddles. The ones I like the most are the ones that make you think and think while everybody waits, hoping you'll give up. Give up? Not me. I'll get it. You'll see.
So what do the children in jokes do every day? Mikey, what do the children in jokes do every day?
They get together to see who can tell the funniest joke.
Yeah. And how do Crystal's words make the others lose the game? Ivy?
Because they go to the funny bone.
Yeah, they tickle the funny bone, right? They tickle it. And so that makes them do what?
It makes them laugh, and that's how they lose the game.
Yeah, it's what happens. The first one, the first one who laughs, right, loses the game. The first one who laughs loses the game. And then in riddles, what do the best riddles do? The best riddles do what? Kelsey?
Make you think and think.
They make you think and think. Riddles do that. They make you think and think. Now, why are the words give up, not me, in a different size and shape? Why do you think they're in a different size and shape? Olive?
Because they might be a title.
I don't think they're a title exactly. Sometimes the words in the bigger letters are a title, right? But I don't think not in this poem they're not a title. Why are sometimes the bigger words in maybe in a different color? What do you think? They're what? What type of words are they? Did you reconsider your answer? What do you think?
They're italics.
They're not italics because italics are slanted. Remember, italics are slanted. Yes?
Maybe the words that the poem, the person who wrote the poem wanted these words to stand out.
They want them to stand out because If you want something to stand out, you want it to stand out for a reason. Logan?
So everyone knows that it's there.
It's there because it's, Kelsey?
Important.
It's important. Those are important words. Yes, they're important words. Because the poet does what? She never gives up until she what? She never gives up until she,
She.
it says at the end. She never gives up.
Not me.
Yeah, what doesn't she give up?
She doesn't give up the riddle. If it's like too hard, she doesn't give it up.
Yeah, until she, Logan?
Until she gets it.
Until she gets it, until she figures it out. She never gives up until she figures it out. Oh good, we have another poem. Let's go to the next poem. Oh, I went too far. It's overgoing.
I go to the land. I go to the land of words, for I am at home there and never leave for long. My thirst pushes me through the open door. The more I drink of the falling water, the more I know. I drink, I think, I grow.
Okay, so boys and girls, I want you to look on page 152, 153, and 154. Now, on 154, how does the shape of In the Land of Words on page 152 match the ideas in the poem? How do you think they kind of match the shape? How do they kind of match what's going on in the poem? Yes, Teddy? They tell about the lamb. How do the shapes of the words match things? Yes.
It kind of looks like a raindrop.
It kind of looks like a raindrop. Yes, it kind of looks like a raindrop. Very good. And look at line 6 here. On 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says, which words in line 6 of In the Land of Words help you see the words falling? Do they help you see the rain falling in that poem, in that line? Does it kind of look like a raindrop? A little bit. It kind of looks like a raindrop. It's supposed to kind of look like a raindrop. I think maybe we have to use our imaginations a little bit to see that raindrop. So in here it says, words are like falling water, and the poet is thirsty and wants to drink them. So in these poems, in the Land of Words, so we have the poem In the Land of Words, then we have jokes, we have riddles, we have I Go to Land. How many stanzas are each of those poems? How many stanzas? Teddy?
3.
So, well, each poem is one stanza. This is a stanza right here. So they only have, that's a stanza. Jokes is one poem, that's a stanza. Riddles is one poem. In the Land of Words, that's one poem. So they're only one stanza each. Apparently these are each their own poem. Is how those are organized. Very good. Who enjoyed those poems? Did you enjoy the poems?
Yeah.
I enjoyed those myself. I thought those were pretty good. Okay, boys and girls, now you're going to read those tonight. You're going to reread those. So very good. So let's put those away.